Okay, so you've met this guy, or this girl, but in this case I'm going to stay with a guy. This guy is handsome, or so you think. Beauty is a bit subjective. He's handsome, he's charming, he seems to, have a confused, dead look in his eye, but he can command people around him. You are me, I am. And he'll have these big tales about how he was a war hero and he saved his entire company in battles in Afghanistan or Iraq. Or he was a medical doctor and he saved all these people's lives in the hospital. And, he performed open heart surgery and saved children. Or he's a great scientist with many great scientific discoveries. Or he's a great sea captain. He has been on many great sea adventures. You don't even understand how much he has sailed his vessel all over the seas and all around the world and on the highest waves. So high, so many great adventures. Now, it's easy to be charmed or excited by that and thinking that, you've met your soulmate, you meet this wonderful person, he's just too good to be true. When something is usually too good to be true, when something seems too good to be true, rest assured it usually is. Now, it's naive to believe that nobody would ever con. We know that there's con men in this world, con artists that try to, basically remember Jim Baker, and all the con artistry he did on TBN, where he basically manipulated a bunch of elderly people into giving them their money. We see these sort of frauds with used car salesmen. They're usually kind of stereotyped, or selling timeshares. But when they're not asking you for money, what possibly could somebody con you out of? And it's your time, your attention, and your constant praise. There's certain groups of people in this world that need to always have someone around them telling them how great and special and unique and important they are to feed their empty void black hole of a self. Now, they don't have any mechanism to sustain their own self-worth, so they have to get that validation somewhere else. You were targeted. You were chosen. So, let's assume maybe they really were a combat veteran, and they did save the whole company. Maybe they really were a medical doctor at the top of their class, graduated, first at summa cum laude from Yale, they're some medical school, or that they really did, they're professional athletes, although, and they, won so many, Heisman trophies, or they have truly been on great sea adventures going with their sailboats all around the world. The next time, and I'm just going to take one of those examples randomly, I'm going to say the sailor. This person is a great sailor, been on many great adventures. You don't even understand the adventures they've been on. They've sailed all around the world in all these great big ways. Ask them for proof. But don't do it in a way like, I don't believe you, you're a liar. Proof. They are a liar. Now, it's true that they might have, let's say, part of that's true. Like maybe the person who claims to be a great doctor with many great, cures that he's created, maybe he really did apply for medical school, but he didn't get in. But then he stretches the story. Maybe he was a biology major, and that part's true, but then the idea that he had, like everybody, all these, saved all these people's lives, that's the fake part. I knew a girl who basically wrecked 2 ambulances and lost her job at the hospital, but in her mind, she saved the whole hospital, so her stories were an exaggeration and an outgrowth of what she had done. So somebody says, don't just say you're a liar, but ask them. And they'll either be able to deliver the proof, or it's going to piss them off and they'll probably leave, or you're going to deliberately believe the lie, because, you have to believe the lie. You have to believe, you're excited to meet this new person. So when they say, I've been on many, I have many great scientific discoveries, I've saved a whole company full of soldiers, you're going to be like, even if that's not true, it still is, because I have to believe that about you, because if it's not true, then you're going to feel like an idiot. So when somebody says, I saved a whole company of soldiers in Iraq, act interested and go, wow, that is exciting. They love that attention. Wow, that is so exciting. That's the most impressive thing I've ever heard. They'll love that. And then say, hey, you know what you can do? I'm so impressed. Why don't you show me some pictures of the company you were with, or some of the medals that you've earned? Now that's gonna be a problem, because if they haven't earned it, if they haven't earned that, then you're going to know they're lying. And a person that lies to you about that is going to be lying to you about other things. So let's take another random example. Let's say a sea adventure. I've been on many great sea adventures. I have sailed all over the world, fought sea pirates, or whatever sort of, great story that they seem to have to make up in their own mind. act interested. Believe them. Wow, that is great. You are a world traveler. You're a world sailor. You've been all over the world in many great ports. You fought pirates, found buried treasure. Say, hey, do you have any pictures or articles of the treasure you found? Or can you provide me? I'm curious. I'm very curious, very interested in your great sea adventure. So why don't you provide me some pictures of the seaports you've been in with you there, or maybe some videos of you conversing and having drinks with the locals. Don't be fooled by surface pictures where you just see their head with a sea in the back. They could either be photoshopped, but I doubt they're going to go to that degree, or they'll have taken their boat out a little bit in 5 feet, sailed a couple circles and said, see, look what a great sea adventurer I am. But they didn't really go to those ports. They really didn't meet those people. They didn't go on those adventures. They didn't fight those pirates, and they didn't fight that buried treasure. Now, a person that is actually making these adventures up in their head and actually believes them is dangerous, because they're living a reality that's not there, but it's in here. They're not coming out of their brain to be your husband or your boyfriend or your friend. They want to manipulate with their bullcrap stories you and suck you into their fantasy world in here, and that place is a prison. So my point is, if it's saying I'm a combat veteran and a war hero, ask them politely. Tell them you're interested. You'd like to see articles and medals because you're very impressed with what they've done. When they can't deliver it, that's a big red flag. They're a doctor that saved, the child's life. Can you show me pictures of you and the child? I'd like to see the child, or the awards you've won. If they can't deliver it, there's a problem. If they claim to be a great science with scientific discoveries, scientists with many scientific discoveries, ask them about the discoveries. Ask them to see some peer-reviewed journals. And don't say, because I don't believe you. Say, because I'm interested and I'm very excited. I want to see the things you discovered. And if they can't deliver, again, they're manipulating you by making up stories to try to win you to get sex or money or attention or control you. Don't buy it. So if they're saying, I'm a great sea adventurer, I've been on many great sea adventures, you don't even understand how many sea adventures I've been on. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Act impressed, and then ask them for pictures, videos of all the places they've been. I, Calypso, I sing to your spirit. The stories you told us, the places you've been to, the stories you tell. Well, if they really are the next Jacques Cousteau or the great sea captain, they're going to be able to show you pictures and videos of their command of the high seas. Otherwise, you can assume that they're probably just sailing around in little lake circles or off the coast and exaggerating that stories to bring you into their crap fantasy world. And that's a dangerous place to be, especially if they're trying to manipulate you or get something. He's handsome, he's smart, he's funny, and he has all these great adventure stories. He's almost too good to be true. Rest assured he is. So it might sound angry, it might sound negative, but it also might save you a lot of time, pain, money, and heartbreak. Okay? Not everybody that's nice to use your friend. When a child molester tells the kid to get in the car, they don't do that now, it's online predation, but they get in the car in the old days. Here's some candy, I'm your friend. They have to lure you with something. And what the narcissists, these people will do, whatever they are, is that they'll lure you with false stories of their accomplishments and adventures and their superiority to try to woo you so that you'll basically become their slave. Mentally, emotionally, you'll become trauma bonded. It's not love. They can't love. So basically, just make sure that if they're telling you stories about their great medical practices, do a background check, make sure they're really a doctor. Why would you want to marry a doctor that wasn't a doctor? And it's okay not marrying a non-doctor, but why would they tell you they were a doctor? Or somebody says, I'm an astronaut and I've been in outer space and I met Isaac Asimov on the moon. Well, get the records of NASA. If they say that they're great, sailors or sea captains with all these great discoveries, ask them for pictures. Ask them for travel logs. Ask them and pretend like you're interested, because then if they can't deliver it, they'll snarl. They'll realize that you've caught on to their bluff. They might leave you, but it's better than wasting your life, okay? Besides, why would you date somebody that's going to lie to you about that? It's going to lie to you about something else. So if they can walk in your life, they're too good to be true, and they give you all these adventure stories, they probably are. Be vigilant and be safe. God bless. Later.